Hello everyone, welcome back to my game zone for another episode of Dunking Into Subjects. Today's biscuits are brought to you by Pink Things. So, today's subject is going to be about the PlayStation Vita TV. God, awful biscuits, Jesus Christ almighty. The cold pig wafers, right? I don't know if you have them. If you're watching this from America or another country, right, other than England, if you have these, let us know, because God, if you like them, God, really awful. Like eating shrapnel. Not that I know what eating shrapnel's like, but you know, horrible. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, this is a great start. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about the PlayStation Vita TV. Right, so when I upload this video, I got up yesterday morning, just before 7 o'clock, to watch the live stream of Sony's pre-Tokyo Game Show conference, with a live translation. I think half the time we're struggling to keep up. And there was a lot of please be excited, or please watch this video. You know, it's rather, you know, I found it rather amusing. But then again, I was still probably half asleep. I probably found anything amusing at that time. I was rather hoping for news on The Last Guardian, and I think quite a few people were, but Tokyo Game Show hasn't happened yet. And I think there's a keynote speech coming up from Sony as well, so there may be or something more substantial then. But what certainly caught a lot of people off guard was this PlayStation Vita TV. Now, what is PlayStation Vita TV? It's basically, the best way to describe it, certainly what a lot of game websites call it as well, is like a micro console. If you heard of the Ouya Android console, it seems like it's basically Sony doing that, right? It's priced at about over 9,000 yen, which equates, give or take, about 65 quid in this country. So it's basically like a little it's like a micro console that plugs into your TV, and you can play PlayStation Vita games on it, and within the system you can play PSP games, PS1 games, and if you have a real thing into the bargain, if you have a PlayStation 4, it can remote play as well. And if you have a DualShock 3 controller, you know, you use that and be able to play PlayStation Vita games onto your TV, and using the DualShock 3 you can play games on it. And I think there'll be updates for to use the DualShock 4 as well with it. Now, there are some downsides to this though, because a lot of PlayStation Vita games, like recently Killzone Mercenary, which you swipe the screen to hack devices, or more commonly to do melee attacks. If games have touchscreen interfaces, such like, it seems like those games are not compatible with the Vita TV. Now, there could be updates in the future that sort of rectify that, you know, especially with the DualShock 4 having a touchpad. Now, a lot of the comments I've been reading has been surprisingly positive. You know, a lot of people say, whoa, that is a neat piece of tech there, because it's basically, you know, offering a cheap way in for people to store, you know, a lot of indie titles. And, you know, if people are really interested in playing games like Uncharted Golden Abyss, or if this is providing they're compatible, games like Gravity Rush, Uncharted Golden Abyss, and Killzone Mercenary, and Tearaway. Now, I have a little bit of concern with this, and it's because I'm a huge PlayStation V fan. I absolutely love my Vita, right? It's, for me, right, and this is nothing against Nintendo, the DS, Nintendo absolutely nail the handheld market. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. But for me, in my opinion, I think the Vita is the greatest handheld of all time. It's the things that piece of that little thing can do, is just unbelievable. It really is. And as we know, it's been gaining a lot of momentum. It's been having a lot of big indie titles coming to it. It's had a price cut on its memory cards and the system itself. It's also now got a redesign, as they announced in Japan. A 64 gig memory card, goodness knows how much that will cost though. And it's now got a killer first person shooter game in Killzone Mercenary. Spoilers for me review for that coming up. And I'm worried that bringing this in now, have Sony created a device or a hardware system that makes buying the Vita obsolete. That's what I'm worried about. Now, there's a different way of looking at this, because Nintendo, to my knowledge, have never done a hardware system where you're able to play DS games, Game Boy games on, through your television, right? And this seems Sony's way of sort of combating Ouya and the recently announced Nintendo 2DS, where it's a low price point in to play handheld games. Right now, from my point of view, I don't need it, because I play games in my bedroom through this television that's you're looking out from here, and my Vita, play games on that, and funny enough, I don't take my Vita out anywhere. I never ever felt comfortable about playing portable games out in the open world, out there. For some reason, I just never felt that. I like to be immersed when I'm playing games, and just me, laying in my bed at night, playing playing Hotline Miami, things like that. God, your mind spirals into games like that, because I feel I get the full experience like that, and I really want to do better. I know it will never do 3DS numbers, right? Because I think it's too much tied to a hardcore gamer, whereas the 3DS is a lot more inviting, I think. But I'm worried that a lot more people are gonna, think, this is cool, this Vita TV, But there's the other side. If a lot of people, if it is about 60, 70 quid, if a lot of people start buying Vita TV, right, and playing Vita games on it, and start buying Vita games, it's another way of getting developers, third-party developers, to say, look, the Vita's kicking on now. It's really kicking on. It's worth putting games on it, even parts of games on it, and even making, games specifically for the Vita. So there could be another way around it, where there used to be, I mean, I'm still thinking about this because it's so unusual. Is this possibly now a third way of playing games, right? Because as we've known for many years, especially if you're Nintendo and Sony, you had a hardware console, right, that sat on your television, alongside your television, and then you'd have a portable device, which of course used to be the Game Boy, or for the really hardcore, the Game Gear from Sega, and of course the PlayStation Portable and the PlayStation Vita. Now of course there's smartphones, tablets as well. Is this Sony's way of, I would really like your feedback on this if possible, if you're watching this. Is this Sony's way of actually finding the middle ground, where, for people who don't want to go portable gaming, but they would love to play games like Uncharted Golden Abyss, Killzone Mercenary, and such like. And, you know, but they don't want to pay that expense for Vita. But this PlayStation Vita TV will allow me to still keep my PS4 in the living room, but through remote play, I can have my Vita TV in my bedroom where I can carry on my game. And on the plus side, I can still watch movies, right? Not at the same time, obviously, but I can watch movies on it through various services. I can play PS1 games, and there's certainly nothing wrong with going back playing games like Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid. Of course, they'll update it, but fuck the classics. You know, come on. PSP titles, right? And of course, Vita titles. And there are loads of games for Vita now. Have Sony possibly hit a middle ground here where they're finding now a new revenue stream to make the Vita successful and more desirable, to pull in people who, because I like to believe the gamers, hardcore gamers, you know, if they really want to play the games like Uncharted and Persona 4 Golden, Killzone, etc., they'll get a Vita, the handheld Vita, because that's the way those games are meant to be played. They were designed, not Persona 4 Golden, granted, but those games were designed from the ground up to be PlayStation Vita games, not to be on a big screen, because they're never going to look as good as console games. After all, there's only so much handhelds could do, even one as powerful as the Vita. But Sony may have hit on a real unique idea. Despite my concerns, they may well have hit on a unique idea where they can make the Vita, like I said, more desirable, new way to bring profit into the system that will entice third-party developers and therefore bring more content, more games to Vita, but in the hope that, you know, like I say, you know, I don't want it to be a situation where everyone's buying Vita TV but just completely leaving the handheld, you know, because that's really where those games, you know, I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, played Hotline Miami on PS3, but if you got Vita, why would you want to play on the PS3, though? Because Hotline Miami plays better on the Vita. It looks better on the Vita, you know. But maybe I'm just one of these people, because I have the choice, you know, I like to balance out which games are suited for what system, you know. I mean, we'll certainly see that if the remote play feature works properly, you know, because would you really want to play games like Watch Dogs on, you know, a screen, on the OLED screen and that, you know, such a big open world, would that really work on the Vita, you know? Would you really want to see all that just on a smaller screen? You want to see on a bigger screen, high HD screen, but that's something else. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the PlayStation Vita TV. And like I say, it's a unique idea, and it's coming to Japan first in November, but there are definitely plans to release it into the West much later, because Japan get PS4 late. I think this is like the compromise, as it were. But it's going to be very fascinating to see how that does. And like I say, some of the early buzz I've been hearing from people on the comment section, I was expecting a lot of people to say, oh, well, Sony have killed the PlayStation Vita. There's absolutely no reason to buy it. A couple of people have said that. But a lot of people are saying, whoa, that sounds like a real neat piece of kit. Right, I'm definitely buying that, you know, those kind of comments. So, you know, if you're watching this, you know, I would love your feedback on this. What is your opinion on the PlayStation 3? Do you really think it will affect the Vita handheld, you know, in terms of its potential sales now? Could there be a spiral effect, though, that if Vita TV takes off, that we'll see more games on the Vita, and now Sony just basically giving you the choice, you know, saying it's up to you whether if you want to play Vita games on your handheld or on your TV screen, right? But you got the choice, right? But Vita is here to stay, right? So whatever your opinions are, please leave a comment. You know, positive, negative, all welcome on this channel. And I'll see you again. Please like, subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter at ADF86. And thank you for joining us for another Dunking Into Subjects, and sorry about the terrible bloody biscuit. So I'll hopefully see you again very soon, and be lucky.